Welcome to the new video. All of us have eaten sweets at some point, and maybe you still do. But as you probably know, too much sweets are actually not healthy. That's because they contain a lot of sugars and artificial chemicals that are not good for your body. However, there are also sweets that can be considered downright dangerous. Today, we're going to show you 10 of the most dangerous sweets. New to the world on this channel, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. And before we get started, like the video. Number 10. You're probably already familiar with the Kinder Surprise egg, which is made of chocolate. Inside the Kinder Surprise is a little toy in a plastic capsule. It's not edible, of course, but according to the US FDA, it's also not allowed to be sold because of a choking hazard. So no matter how happy a child is with the toy inside, there is a risk. There have been several reports of people choking on a toy that was inside a Kinder Surprise. Some countries even threaten a fine of $2,500 per egg, if you choose to sell it. Recently, Kinder Surprise eggs were reportedly pulled off the shelf in several countries, including the United Kingdom because salmonella was found in them. Number 9. Lead is a chemical element that is toxic to the body. Exposure to too much lead can even cause lead poisoning. So the last place you'd expect to find it is in a delicious lollipop. That brings us to the Tamarindo Lollipop, dark brown fruit-flavored candies that are attached to a white or orange striped stick. Until a particular case of a 2-year-old child eating a lollipop, 1,000, if not millions of people after a routine blood test found dangerous levels of lead in his body. It turned out that the lollipop wrappers alone had 21,000 to 22,000 parts per million of lead. The candy bars had 400 parts per million. And the candies themselves had about 0.2 parts per million. But what does that mean? It can lead to brain damage, memory loss, stomach pain, behavioral problems, and can even be fatal. No wonder these lollipops were immediately banned. Number 9. I can see you thinking, how can the famous Haribo gummy bears pose any danger? More than 50 pages of reviews have appeared on Amazon, with most people agreeing on one thing. Namely, that if you eat too many gummy bears at once, you need to go to the bathroom fast. Further investigation revealed that this is due to the sugar substitute in gummy bears, lycosine, which is almost as sweet as sugar. Although this sweetness is relatively safe, the bigger problem lies with the artificial sweetener maltitol, which is not fully buildable. In fact, it ferments in the intestines. This means it breaks down biological substances into simpler substances. A few grams could make you run for the toilet in a hurry. Have you ever experienced this firsthand? Let me know in the comments. Number 7. Many of today's products have changed formulas over the years, mainly because more and more harmful ingredients have been discovered. A good example is Blue Smarties disappeared from the market for some time, about 3 years. Among other Smarties took their place white. But why were Blue Smarties pulled from the shelves? According to the company, the ban was put in place because they were in the process of removing all artificial coloring from the sweets, and the blue chemical used on them had no natural replacement yet. However, there were various other complaints that the Blue Smarties were causing hyperactivity in children, or that the chemicals in them exceeded the toxicity threshold. At one point, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, labeled the chemicals used as a health hazard. Number 6. What do extra energy candy, extra strong energy candy, and mixed fruit candy have in common? It's a banned substance called tadalafil. Tadalafil can only be prescribed to a patient by a registered healthcare professional, so the fact that it was found in candy again is pretty bizarre and even dangerous. Without the supervision of a healthcare professional, this substance can cause vision and hearing loss, a drop in blood pressure, and can even lead to strokes and heart attacks. These candies were made in Malaysia and were immediately pulled from the shelves, but that was not the end of it. A new law has even been introduced whereby people found in possession of these sweets must pay a huge fine and face up to 10 years in prison. Number 5. Lollipops are apparently dangerous because here we have another lollipop that had to be banned. The usual flavors of these lollipops were strawberry, watermelon, blueberry, and cherry flavor. However, you will never believe why lollipop candies were rightfully pulled from the shelves. In its normal form, the lollipop was completely legal. However, people decided to use the plastic tube and airtight bag for other purposes. Some people have found that they can use the lollipop to smoke illegal substances. In addition, the $6 lollipops were also easy to reuse. so it is only logical that the authorities decided to quickly pull it off the shelves. Number 3. Have you ever eaten a candy that was so sour it made your face twitch? Warhead Extreme Sour Candies have taken it to a whole new level. These candies were so sour they burned a hole in your tongue. No wonder the candies were called Warhead's Extreme Sour. The effects of the additives mainly hydrogenated palmipol, which landing in large quantities releases malic acid and can cause ulcers and tooth erosion, came to light when these sour candies were eaten. A little 10-year-old girl, the extremely sour candies almost immediately caused her mouth to burn. The acid could also burn parts of the skin. When this came to light, people were shocked by the acidity of the product. No wonder it was banned in several countries. Number 2. We've already talked about sugars in this video, and the fact that too much sugar is bad for the body. Too much sugar also harms your teeth and increases your risk of tooth decay, as well as obesity and diabetes too. Type, one of the sweets that are incredibly high in sugar. They are Twinkies. To these little cookies with cream filling is reportedly added 32 grams of sugar, which is extra in your body. However, there have been people who have decided to combine Twinkies with a few Big Macs from McDonald's, and also with Pepsi Cola, which is also known to be incredibly high in sugar. So if you're not careful about what you eat, it could spike your blood sugar, or you could even have health problems. So be careful not to eat too many things that contain a lot of sugar. So if you choose to, then at least don't eat too much. Number 1. As you can tell from the name toxic nuclear waste, this candy is very dangerous. It was recently discovered that they are even toxic and contain twice the permissible amount of lead. Our bodies can only tolerate a very small amount of lead before it becomes toxic. Toxic nuclear waste candies had a cherry flavor and contained 0.24 parts per million. Although the candy's name might remind you of Chernobyl, its effects were not nuclear. Fortunately, there have only been a few cases where these candies harm someone. If you consumed more than a few of these candies, you probably needed to see a doctor, and it turned out that pregnant women and children were most at risk when consuming these candies. What is your favorite sweet treat? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more similar videos, check out our channel.